Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. A mystery is unfolding tonight, one that could have far-reaching consequences for the balance of power in Asia and beyond. In the vast expanse of the South China Sea, a region long known for its strategic importance and simmering tensions, something unusual is happening. For years, Chinese ships have dominated these contested waters, swarming reefs, blockading shoals, and intimidating rivals. Their presence has been a constant reminder of Beijing's determination to assert its claims, often at the expense of its neighbors. But now, almost overnight, that presence is vanishing. The once crowded waters are eerily quiet, leaving observers and local fishermen alike puzzled and wary. Satellite images and maritime tracking data reveal a dramatic drop in Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels. The numbers have plummeted, raising eyebrows in capitals across the region. Key areas like the Spratly Islands and Scarborough Shoal, once flashpoints for confrontation, are suddenly quiet, their waters undisturbed for the first time in years. Intelligence agencies from Washington to Manila are scrambling for answers, poring over data and dispatching surveillance flights to understand what's behind this sudden shift. This sudden absence creates a vacuum, both on the water and in regional politics. With China's ships gone, new opportunities and risks emerge for smaller nations and rival claimants. For Southeast Asian nations, it's a moment of cautious optimism. Some see a rare chance to assert their own claims or return to traditional fishing grounds, while others worry about what might come next. Is this a sign of de-escalation, a genuine step back from confrontation, or merely a strategic feint before a new push? The uncertainty is fueling intense debate among experts. Beijing's silence only deepens the intrigue. With no official explanation, speculation is running wild, from internal political shifts to preparations for a new strategy. The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade and rich in resources, making any change in its status quo a matter of international concern. China's sweeping claims have long fueled tension, drawing protests and legal challenges from its neighbors and the wider international community. Now, its retreat, however brief, reshapes the entire dynamic. The region holds its breath, wondering if this is the dawn of a new era, or the calm before another storm. It offers hope for stability, but raises urgent questions about what comes next. Will diplomacy prevail, or will old rivalries flare up once more? The world is watching, waiting for the next move. Every development is scrutinized, as the implications could ripple far beyond these waters. The stakes could not be higher. In this high-stakes game, every decision could shape the future of the region and the world. The data is clear. Something unprecedented is happening in the South China Sea. Chinese ships are vanishing from the South China Sea, leaving vast stretches of water eerily empty. Just weeks ago, dozens of Coast Guard vessels and hundreds of militia boats dominated the region, forming a near-constant presence. Suddenly, their numbers plummeted, almost overnight, as if a switch had been flipped. Analysts watched in disbelief as blockades thinned and flotillas melted away, struggling to make sense of the rapid change. The scale and speed of the withdrawal caught even seasoned observers off guard. The pullback was too rapid to be routine, suggesting a deliberate and coordinated move rather than a simple rotation or redeployment. For the first time in years, Filipino and Vietnamese fishermen are returning to their traditional grounds, venturing into waters that were once fraught with tension and risk. The threat of harassment has faded, at least for now. Fishermen work with a new sense of freedom, but uncertainty lingers beneath the surface. But where did the ships go? Are they docked safely in port, or simply lurking just out of sight, ready to return at a moment's notice? Beijing remains silent, and state media offers no explanation. Official channels are quiet, fueling speculation and concern. This lack of transparency keeps the region guessing, as leaders and citizens alike search for answers that never come. Is this a genuine step toward peace, a diplomatic gesture, or merely a tactical pause before tensions flare again? The sudden calm feels less like resolution and more like the eye of a storm, a temporary stillness before the next move. The world is left to wonder, what is China's next move? The mystery deepens, and the stakes have never been higher. To truly grasp the significance of this shift in the South China Sea, we need to revisit a recent and dramatic confrontation that captured the world's attention. In the shadow of Scarborough Shoal, a handful of Filipino fishing boats found themselves face to face with the intimidating presence of the Chinese Coast Guard. These fishermen, armed with nothing but their courage, determination, and cell phones, made the bold decision to sail directly toward the blockade, refusing to be cowed by the threat before them. The Chinese ships, massive and imposing, loomed over the tiny wooden boats, trying to use their sheer size and power to intimidate and force the fishermen to turn back. But instead of retreating, the fishermen stood their ground, using their cell phones to broadcast the tense standoff live to the world, turning their vulnerability into a weapon of exposure. The images that emerged were striking. Tiny, weathered boats, standing defiantly against a superpower's modern fleet. A true David and Goliath moment unfolding in real time. As the live footage spread, people across the Philippines and around the globe watched in awe, witnessing ordinary people challenge the might of China on the open sea. The incident quickly spiraled into a public relations disaster for Beijing, as headlines and news reports highlighted the stark imbalance of power and the courage of the fishermen. Viral videos of the Chinese Coast Guard's aggressive tactics spread rapidly, exposing China's bullying behavior to a global audience and sparking outrage and sympathy worldwide. Suddenly, the conflict was no longer just about disputed territory or maritime rights. It became deeply personal, a story about the livelihoods and dignity of real people and their families. Across the Philippines, the fishermen were hailed as national heroes. Their bravery was celebrated in villages and cities alike, inspiring pride and unity among their fellow citizens. Their unwavering stand sent a powerful message. China's intimidation was not invincible, and even the smallest voices could force a retreat. The narrative shifted dramatically, from abstract geopolitics to a compelling story of human courage, resilience, and the fight for justice. The world saw, perhaps for the first time, the incredible power of ordinary people to influence the course of a conflict and inspire change far beyond their shores. In Beijing, officials were forced to reconsider a strategy that now brought more international shame than strategic advantage, as the world's eyes remained fixed on their every move. Sometimes it only takes a few brave voices, amplified by technology and the world's attention, to shake even the most powerful of superpowers and remind us all of the enduring strength of human spirit. The fisherman's video changed everything. Raw and unfiltered, it put viewers on the front lines. The world saw the faces of the fishermen and the looming threat of the Chinese ship. Suddenly, the South China Sea dispute was no longer abstract. It was a story of intimidation and resistance. International media seized on the footage, sparking global outrage. Sympathy for the Philippines surged, and condemnation of China intensified. Beijing's efforts to control the narrative collapsed. The video became a symbol for all small nations facing pressure from powerful neighbors. China's reputation as a responsible global leader took a hit. The cost of harassing fishermen now outweighed any strategic gain. The viral moment forced Beijing to rethink its approach. International scrutiny became a powerful deterrent. The fishermen's courage had global impact. Sometimes, a single video can change the world's perception. The viral confrontation galvanized international support for the Philippines. The United States reaffirmed its defense commitments, warning Beijing that aggression would trigger a response. Australia and Japan quickly condemned China's actions and backed international law. Even the European Union joined in, expressing serious concern and supporting the Philippines. This united front gave Manila crucial diplomatic backing. For Beijing, it was a major setback. No longer a bilateral dispute, but a global issue. The world was now watching, and China faced a coalition determined to uphold the rules. The pressure was on. The diplomatic backlash put Beijing in a bind. For years, China's gray zone tactics worked because they avoided open conflict. But the fishermen's video and global outrage changed the equation. International scrutiny and coordinated protests raised the cost of aggression. China's image as a cooperative partner was at risk, threatening broader goals like the Belt and Road Initiative. The unified response from the US, allies, and the EU undermined China's divide-and-conquer strategy. Faced with isolation and possible sanctions, a tactical retreat made sense. Pulling back ships allowed China to lower tensions and shift the narrative. It was a calculated move to relieve pressure while preserving long-term ambitions. Sometimes retreat is the smartest play. Why did China retreat? The answer is likely a mix of factors. First, humiliation. Being exposed as a bully by viral video was a PR disaster. Second, strategy. Intense scrutiny made the South China Sea less attractive for gray zone tactics. China may be shifting focus to other hotspots or simply regrouping. Third, logistics. Maintaining a large fleet is costly and demanding. The pullback could be a routine operational pause or resource reallocation. Finally, diplomacy. Reducing its presence might be a gesture to open talks. Each explanation offers a different lens, and none are mutually exclusive. In geopolitics, motives are rarely simple. China's retreat is likely a blend of embarrassment, calculation, and opportunity. There's no single reason for China's retreat. The decision likely reflects a convergence of pressures: humiliation, international backlash, strategic recalibration, and internal debates. The viral video, US statements, and global media coverage all tipped the scales. At some point, the costs outweighed the benefits. The retreat was a calculated adjustment, not a surrender. Internal dynamics within China, debates among leaders, concerns about overstretch, also played a role. The situation remains unstable and unpredictable. A single incident could reverse the current calm. The ships could return at any moment. Observers remain cautious. This is just one move in a much larger game. The story is far from over. The sudden Chinese retreat remains a puzzle with no easy answers. The calm could signal de-escalation, or just a pause before renewed tension. Power now lies in controlling the narrative as much as the sea. Fishermen with smartphones have shown they can challenge a superpower. International alliances and public opinion are powerful counterweights to aggression. Watch for changes in ship movements, diplomatic signals, and regional responses. The future of the South China Sea is still being written by fishermen, diplomats, and the choices of nations. What happens here matters to us all.